Okay, let's talk about a couple more machetes that I recently picked up. Specifically this one and this one. This one came from eBay, this one came from Amazon. And they were both about $35. I'll start with the general characteristics of this one, then I'll go to this one. This machete was made in Pakistan, and it's 16 inches overall with a 9.5-inch blade. The steel thickness of the blade is a little more than 3/16, and it weighs about 1.5 pounds. Sharpness out of the box was really good. I would give it a 6.5 to a 7. You won't have to do a whole lot of work, and you can get the blade really sharp. Unfortunately, they did the taper of the blade really nice, so you don't have this kind of motion on the blade. It's more that way. So they got a nice taper. It won't take much to get it sharp. This would be a good little cutter for certain things. Not all applications are going to work for this, but it'll be good for certain things, and it's quality. Handle's nice. As you can see, I got some room on the handle here to move it. So once again, about $35 off eBay for this Pakistani machete-ish type cutting tool. Moving over here, this one came from Amazon. I would say it's probably from China. Overall, it's about 14.5 inches, and the blade's about 9.25 inches. The steel is 1/8 inch thick, and this weighs about 1.25 pounds. Sharpness wise, out of the box, this one came about as good as you're going to get it. You're not going to get it much better. A little bit better, you can hone it, but it's still really sharp. I would give it an 8.5 to a 9 on the sharpness scale. Functional, yep, good machete. It'll do its job within limitations, and not everything's going to be applicable to it. So good machete. I would recommend both of these if you're looking to do certain types of cutting and realizing some limitations. If you're going to go into the woods and you're going to be faced with cutting any kind of everything, then neither of these are going to be ideal. And for me, where I'm at, one of the biggest things that you run into are going to be lots and lots of briars, different kinds of briars. So when I have a video here I'm going to show in a second where I walked into the woods, and the woods where I was going to go in was really, really thick. Then it thinned out where there was some saplings and trees. I could test those out chopping it. But I knew better than to grab either one of these to try to get myself in that initial front part, because just chopping through that stuff with those, your hand's going to be so close to the blade, which is going to be close to the briars. And when you hit those briars, they all want to collapse in and pull. You're going to end up getting cut up. So I didn't want to get cut up today. So I used this old machete, which was it's a good go-to machete. And quickly on this one overall is about 21 inches. Blade is about 14 inches. And the steel is 1/16. And this is about about 1.5 pounds, slightly less than 1.5 pounds. Good machete, but like I said in a previous video I did where I described a whole line of machetes I had on the table, I like this machete, but I've almost thought about just cutting this off, coming right here with a little cut-off wheel and just nipping this off, because when I was cutting through those briars, every time I go into the briars, I'm having to twist it and pull it so I don't pull out a whole glob of briars towards me with this hook. So that's the only thing that I don't really care for about it, but it still does a really good job. So anyway, I'll go through this video, but these are two good machetes, and they're sharp and the steel's good. So let's see them chopping in the woods. This first sapling was dead. I realized that as soon as I hit it. This shorter machete did really well chopping on a thicker type sapling. Really sharp little machete. Seeing how well it cuts on something that's not ideal, so I was cutting the top of a sapling I'd already cut off. and it performed pretty good. Once again, cutting on something that's not ideal. I'd already taken the top of the sapling out and wanted to see how well it would cut it. It did good. I wanted to try the little machete on a little bit thicker sapling. If that machete was a couple inches longer, it would be a little better, but for what it is, it's not bad. Still a good machete. You just have to know its limitations. Well, thank you for watching. Just some more information about a few machetes that I wanted to check out and see how they did in the woods. If you have any questions, let me know. And as always, have a good day.